We believe, we agree that the problem isn't so much the differences that we have of opinion or the polarization, but it's the contempt that underlies the polarization and the toxic polarization. We believe, as Arthur Brooks has said, if we want to solve polarization, we need to solve the contempt problem. So we leaned into the work of Arthur Brooks and another colleague, Dr. Donna Hicks, who is an international conflict resolution specialist, solving the most difficult entrenched problems across the world. And her secret weapon is dignity. And we learned a lot from Donna and designed this project to be tested in a political sense, but it turned into much more than a political tool. So I want to give you, Mari, if you'll pull up our index slide, I'm going to give you the
Yep.
2-minute version of training on the Dignity Index. The index is a scale from 1 to 8. We rate speech. We don't rate people, we rate speech. And I have to remind myself of that all the time, because on any given day, we could fall on the low end of the scale, on the high end of the scale, depending on who we're speaking with, what the subject is. But we rate political speech on this scale of 1 to 8. The bottom 4 parts of the scale are the contempt side of the scale. And the top 4 are the dignity side of the scale. What we're hoping to do is come up with this common language and this common metric, so that when we hear these types of phrases, we recognize them. I think all of us would agree that contempt is a bad thing, but what does that look like? My background is in special education. How do you define that? That's what you have to do before you change behavior. Done a lot of reading on Desmond Tutu and his approach, and he's got this beautiful quote that says that, I've looked into the eyes of child soldiers who have committed the most nauseating acts of depravity, and I see in them a little piece of myself. And that's we call the divine quality that we all have, which is why each one of us deserves dignity. We deserve to be treated with dignity. We don't want to throw away our passion, our political beliefs, our personal beliefs, but we want to talk with people in a different way. And that's the goal of the Dignity Index, is to teach people what that language looks like, and then to give them ideas and tools on how they can speak about our most difficult problems in a different way. We knew that if we tested it in politics, it would probably make more sense to people. So in our very initial training with these undergraduate and graduate students, and even some of the researchers that we were training, day 2, they came back to the training and said, one of the researchers said, I went to the play last night, To Kill a Mockingbird, and I could not stop thinking about the Dignity Index. Every scene, every line, I was scoring. That's a 3, that's a 7. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they offered that person an 8. And the students came back and said, I had to take off a post that I put on social media yesterday. I treated someone differently on the road on my way home because I thought, ooh, that's a 3 behavior. They're not the bad people. I'm not the good people. I need to change the way I think about things. And every presentation we made beginning last September, October, until the present time, I will have a line of people that come up to me afterwards saying, I didn't know I was talking to my husband that way. Can you bring this into my business culture? Can you bring this into the schools? Do you have a curriculum? All are non-political applications, but they see the benefit of changing themselves and bringing that into their culture. I'll have to tell you, there's a really great quote by the Dalai Lama, because we talk about changing ourselves, and that's how we will change the culture. He said, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. So changing our own behavior, and we might be just one person at a time, but if we can change our own behavior as we look towards changing others, we can make this huge difference. What I would want people to do is go to our website, dignityindex.us. You can learn about the scale. We've got these cards. Sign up. You take a pledge. The pledge is pretty easy. It just says, I'm going to do better at treating people with dignity, not contempt. But then you join our mail list, and we are sending out materials and training videos and ideas that you can use to engage with people with whom you disagree. And then you're part of the movement. We need people to join this movement. And so that's what that would be my ask.